Erin Krakow said hearts racing after revealing she's expecting her first baby with her When Calls the Heart co-star turned husband, Ben Rosenbaum. The couple shared the news with a tender, black and white photo booth snapshot, proudly holding a sonogram while smiling alongside their dog, who wore a sweet Big Brother shirt. So much to be grateful for, Krakow wrote, instantly sending fans into celebration mode. The comments lit up with love from the Hardys family. Kevin McGarry congratulated the couple, while his partner, Kayla Wallace, reacted emotionally, calling the baby one lucky little soul. Pascal Hutton echoed the excitement, sending love to what she affectionately called the four of you. The baby news comes just weeks after Krakow and Rosenbaum surprised fans with their wedding announcement. Sharing intimate outdoor photos from their big day, the couple kept things simple and heartfelt, Rosenbaum dropping only an infinity emoji to mark the moment. Colleagues like Tyler Hines and Tamara Mowry also chimed in with warm wishes. From co-stars to soulmates to soon-to-be parents, the real-life love story unfolding on and off-screen has fans calling it the most magical chapter yet for the beloved star of One Calls the Heart on the Hallmark Channel. Get ready, Hearties. Season 13 is not only confirmed, it has a premiere date and two iconic cast members stepping back into Hope Valley. But why now? And what does it mean for Elizabeth's future? When Calls the Heart is back on the calendar. Hallmark has officially set the premiere date for the show's 13th season, and longtime fans are already buzzing, not only because the beloved period drama returns in early January, but because two major familiar faces are slated to reappear in Hope Valley. The series will kick off its new run on Sunday, January 4th, 2026, with episodes available to stream on Hallmark Plus the following day. After more than a decade on the air, When Calls the Heart has become appointment television for a devoted audience known as the Hardys. The show's warm, small-town storytelling, stitched together with romance, community, and the occasional tearjerker crisis, has allowed it to evolve while keeping the core cast and tone intact. Season 13 promises to lean into that formula. Familiar relationships, fresh complications, and emotional beats that aim squarely at longtime viewers. Hallmark's teaser and subsequent press coverage have already hinted that this will be a season with high stakes for several characters. The most headline-worthy casting news is that Brooke Shields will be returning to the series as Charlotte Thornton, the mother of the late Jack Thornton. Shields first appeared on the show nearly a decade ago. Her return is framed as a short but meaningful arc, with reporting indicating she'll appear across a 3-episode run. Her comeback sets up an emotional reunion for Elizabeth and a renewed look at the Thornton family ties that have long shaped the show's narrative. Alongside Shields, Melissa Gilbert, who played the charismatic Georgie McGill in Season 12, is confirmed to reprise her role in Season 13. Gilbert's Georgie made an immediate impression when she surfaced in the previous season, sharp, worldly, and romantically intriguing, particularly in scenes opposite Jack Wagner's Bill Avery. Gilbert's return has already sparked fan speculation about whether the show will explore a deeper relationship arc for her character. Her presence also reinforces a trend the series has leaned into recently, bringing in seasoned actors for guest arcs that expand Hope Valley's emotional and generational textures. Where the story picks up and what's at stake. Season 12 left viewers with a significant transition. Elizabeth, Nathan, Allie, and Little Jack had departed for Cape Fullerton to be closer to an insulin lab after Little Jack's diabetes diagnosis. Season 13 reportedly picks up with those threads unresolved, and early comments from cast and creatives suggest the season will explore the family's return to Hope Valley and how the community adapts to a new medical reality. Expect storylines about co-parenting under pressure, the logistics of rural healthcare in the 1920s, and the social ripple effects that come from a child with a chronic condition becoming the center of town attention. Those plot bones, diabetes, medical access, and family resilience, aren't just soap opera fodder. They lean into the series' long history of plugging real emotional weight into period-accurate stakes. The show has often used historical developments as narrative levers, and Season 13 appears poised to continue that tradition, using the insulin storyline to examine both personal and communal change. Kevin McGarry and other cast members have teased a dramatic opening that will shake Hope Valley and set a high emotional bar for the episodes that follow. Production notes and behind-the-scenes shifts. Production on season 13 wrapped in late October, according to cast posts and reporting, giving the show plenty of time to prepare for a January launch. That wrap date confirms an efficient filming schedule and suggests post-production will be relatively straightforward, a good sign for viewers eager for the series' familiar visual polish and period detail. Behind the camera, the show has also experienced creative evolution. Joy Gregory, who worked as a writer and executive producer on the series, has stepped into a leadership role, and public comments from the team indicate the writer's room is focused on deepening character arcs rather than chasing shock value. That editorial posture matters for fans who tune in precisely for the series' balance of heart-tugging storytelling and respect for its early 20th century setting. What fans are saying, and why the casting choices matter. Fan reaction to the premiere date and the returns of Shields and Gilbert has been enthusiastic. For many viewers, the characters those actresses play are emotional anchors. Charlotte Thornton represents a living tie to Elizabeth's past with Jack, and Georgie McGill injects a different kind of maturity and romantic possibility into the town's social fabric. Social media responses, cast Instagram posts, and trade coverage all show a community eager to see how these relationships develop and whether the show will use them to push its storytelling into new, more adult territory. There's also a broader cultural interest in the show's willingness to tell stories about middle-aged and older characters in romantic and emotionally complex plots. Melissa Gilbert's return and the teasing of a romance with Bill Avery aligns with a wider, overdue appetite for narratives that center love, growth, and second chances later in life. That thematic through line has been one of the series' strengths. It can do earnest romance without infantilizing older characters, and it often rewards viewers who have followed the cast into later life stages. What to expect from the premiere night? Hallmark's January 4th premiere slot keeps the show in a prime weekend position, an ideal time for family viewing and streaming catch-up. Early reporting suggests the first episode will be heavy on emotional setup. Elizabeth and Nathan's return will be a focal point, and the episode will likely reintroduce Hope Valley residents to new realities that will drive the season's arcs. With Brooke Shields' Charlotte showing up in Cape Fullerton, viewers can expect an emotional reunion that ties Elizabeth's present life to the traumas and memories of her past. From a practical standpoint, Hallmark will follow its recent pattern, premiere on linear TV Sunday evening, with episodes available to stream on Hallmark Plus the following day. That distribution model gives the network both traditional ratings exposure and the streaming bump that helps shows like When Calls the Heart reach international and cord-cutting audiences. For those who keep up with the show across platforms, this means multiple ways to watch and an active fan conversation throughout the week following each episode. Returning favorites and new possibilities. While Erin Krakow, Kevin McGarry, Pascal Hutton, Coven Smith, and other core cast members figure to dominate the season's emotional center, the addition of high-profile guest stars keeps the show feeling both cozy and consequential. Brooke Shields' Charlotte returns as a narrative fulcrum. Melissa Gilbert's Georgie offers romantic intrigue and procedural savvy. Those combinations, family history, medical drama, returning lovers, give the writers multiple channels to test the show's tonal range. Humorous town moments, serious medical and parental decisions, and romantic beats for older characters. A January premiere is also a strategic choice. The winter months are when viewers often look for serialized, comforting drama, shows that can be watched with family or act as gentle weeknight ritual. When Calls the Heart occupies a unique niche in this ecosystem. It's safe and familiar, but also capable of delivering genuinely moving storytelling. Season 13's focus on family health, community resilience, and the reintroduction of past figures taps directly into the emotional palette that has kept fans loyal for 12 seasons. What Hardy should be excited about. For the series' most devoted fans, Season 13 looks like a carefully curated gift, a winter premiere, the return of beloved guest stars, and storylines that promise to dig deeper into character dynamics rather than rely on gimmicks. The show's capacity to treat older characters with romantic seriousness suggests the writers are committed to emotional honesty, the exact quality that made When Calls the Heart a show people turn to for comfort in the first place. If you're counting down with the Hardys, mark January 4, 2026 on your calendar, ready your streaming subscription for the next day, and prepare for a season that reunites Hope Valley with some familiar faces and some of its most tender, complicated stories yet. As excitement builds for When Calls the Heart Season 13, more details continue to emerge about how the new chapter will reshape Hope Valley's emotional, romantic, and social landscape. The return of two major stars, the deepening of several ongoing storylines, and the thematic direction of the next season suggests that the show is preparing to deliver one of its most heartfelt and possibly most dramatic seasons yet. Hope Valley faces a season of change. One of the most intriguing aspects of Season 13 is the core theme slowly being revealed through cast interviews and early promotional material: change, healing, and renewal. After 12 seasons of evolving friendships, romances, and tragedies, the town is once again at a crossroads. The insulin storyline involving little Jack is expected to bring emotional weight to the season. It's not just a medical plot, it's a shift that will affect the entire town's dynamics. Hope Valley has always been a symbol of community resilience, and Season 13 appears ready to dive into what happens when the village must unite around new challenges brought on by evolving medical science and personal hardship. The writers reportedly want to explore how a tight-knit community responds to vulnerability, not with fear, but with unity and growth. This approach stays true to the spirit of Jeanette Oak's original vision, even as the show continues to expand beyond its early storylines. Elizabeth's emotional balancing act. With little Jack's diagnosis still fresh, Season 13 presents Elizabeth with a balancing act unlike any she has ever faced before. As a mother, she must protect her son while preparing for a future that will require both strength and adaptability. As a teacher, she must remain present for her students. And as a woman whose romantic life has been anything but simple, Season 13 could reopen questions she thought were long settled. Brooke Shields' return as Charlotte expected to be a major emotional anchor for Elizabeth. Charlotte has always been portrayed as a strong, blunt, loving figure, someone who sees straight into Elizabeth's heart. Her presence could force Elizabeth to confront unresolved grief surrounding Jack and to reassess what love looks like after loss. Nathan's burdens and a renewed path forward. Kevin McGarry's Nathan has spent multiple seasons navigating complex emotions regarding Elizabeth. Season 13 seems poised to give his character a deeper internal journey. His role as guardian to Allie and his connection to Elizabeth are likely to form the backbone of his early season arc. There are strong hints that Nathan will step into a more pivotal leadership role in town, especially with new law enforcement challenges expected to surface midway through the season. Fans have long appreciated Nathan's quiet determination and tender heart, but Season 13 may finally give him the narrative spotlight he deserves. The Rosemary and Lee dynamic continues to shine. Every season, Rosemary and Lee Cowler bring a mixture of comedy, warmth, and heart to the show. Season 12 explored their lives as parents and community pillars, and Season 13 is likely to continue that momentum. Reports suggest that Rosemary will take a much more influential role in Hope Valley's social landscape, possibly through the Valley Voice, while Lee faces decisions that could impact his professional stability. These two characters embody the lighthearted optimism the show is known for, and Season 13 seems ready to use them both for comedic relief and stirring emotional beats. Bill Avery and Georgie McGill, a late-in-life romance. Melissa Gilbert's return has set off a firestorm of speculation among fans. Her character Georgie brought renewed energy to Bill Avery's storyline, and Season 13 appears poised to expand on their chemistry. Bill, who has been through heartbreak, betrayal, and countless responsibilities over the years, may finally be inching towards a genuine romantic connection. Gilbert's character is intelligent, confident, and unafraid to challenge him, a combination fans immediately embraced. If the writers fully lean into this pairing, season 13 could deliver one of the most refreshing romances the show has offered in years, highlighting themes of second chances, maturity, and emotional vulnerability. Hope Valley's new conflicts and guest characters. Beyond the returning stars, there are whispers of new guest characters entering Hope Valley, including a young doctor who may bring complications, solutions, or both. With medical storylines now central to the plot, introducing new professionals makes narrative sense and could create intersections with multiple characters. There is also talk of a potential land dispute or business tension arising later in the season, a storyline that would naturally pull in characters like Lee, Lucas, and Bill, and potentially set off new rivalries or alliances. Community, tradition, and the future of Hope Valley. What has always defined When Calls the Heart is its ability to balance nostalgia with forward momentum. Season 13 seems tailored to highlight healing old wounds, revisiting roots, building new foundations, growing beyond grief, exploring love, both new and renewed. Hope Valley has always stood as a symbol of endurance and kindness, and Season 13 is shaping up to be a love letter to that legacy. Why Season 13 might become a fan favorite. Between the high-profile returns, emotionally charged storylines, and a carefully curated premiere date that positions the show perfectly for winter season viewership, Season 13 feels like a promise that the show will honor its history while bravely stepping into new territory. As anticipation grows for When Calls the Heart Season 13, new insights continue emerging that paint a fuller, richer picture of what's ahead for Hope Valley. With fan-favorite stars returning, emotional storylines deepening, and new conflicts on the horizon, this upcoming season is shaping up to be one of the most layered chapters in the show's history. Community shockwaves. The return of Charlotte Thornton. Brooke Shields' return as Charlotte Thornton is more than a nostalgic cameo. It's a seismic moment for the show's emotional fabric. Charlotte's presence is expected to stir unresolved feelings, particularly for Elizabeth, who has spent the past decade navigating life as a widow, a mother, and a woman rediscovering love. Charlotte has always represented a tender, yet painful reminder of Jack Thornton, and her reappearance may open emotional doors Elizabeth thought she had closed. Season 13 will likely use Charlotte's arrival to revisit Jack's legacy through new conversations, bridge Elizabeth's past and present relationships, add mature perspectives on grief and healing, challenge Elizabeth's direction with Nathan and her own self-growth. Fans have long wondered how Elizabeth would handle a direct tie to Jack after so many seasons of change. Now, Season 13 is poised to explore that terrain with depth, nuance, and a level of emotional maturity that the show has grown into. Georgie McGill's story expands, and Bill's heart opens. Melissa Gilbert's return as Georgie McGill is expected to add warmth, charm, and unexpected romantic spark. Her calm confidence and sharp wit were a refreshing contrast to Hope Valley's usual rhythms in Season 12, and Season 13 appears ready to give her a more central role. Bill Avery, often stern and guarded, has softened over the years. Georgie's influence seems to bring out a version of Bill that fans appreciate, compassionate, reflective, and surprisingly open to second chances. Their growing connection could become one of the most compelling slow-burn romances in the entire season, especially if the show leans into themes of rediscovering love later in life, letting go of old fears, allowing vulnerability to surface, finding companionship that doesn't overshadow independence. This potential romance also adds a mature emotional layer that balances the younger love stories scattered throughout the show. Elizabeth's journey, a season of reflection and reinvention. Elizabeth's storyline in Season 13 may be one of the most emotionally complex arcs she's ever had. With little Jack facing diabetes management and new responsibilities weighing on her, Elizabeth is in a season of transformation. Rather than centering solely on romance, Season 13 seems designed to examine her strength as a mother, Her devotion to little Jack will drive much of the season. His condition may force Elizabeth to develop new routines and even challenge long-standing structures in Hope Valley. Her evolving role as a teacher. As Elizabeth grows more secure in her identity, her teaching could take on heightened significance in the community, especially if Hope Valley faces new societal or educational pressures. Her own emotional renaissance, Charlotte's return, Nathan's steady presence, and the town's growing needs may push Elizabeth to reflect more deeply on what she wants for her future. This may be a season where Elizabeth redefines herself, not based on loss or uncertainty, but on resilience and clarity. Nathan's leadership, loyalty, and love. Nathan has been a pillar of emotional restraint and bravery, and Season 13 looks prepared to expand his role even further. Rumors suggest he may take on a larger responsibility within Hope Valley's law enforcement or town governance. Season 13 could challenge Nathan with moral dilemmas affecting the entire community, new threats or conflicts testing his integrity, deepening his emotional ties to Elizabeth and Allie, reconnecting with long-buried grief or guilt. Nathan has always been a character driven by duty and heart. This season, those traits may finally merge in a way that supports both his personal life and the community. Rosemary and Lee, heartwarming chaos ahead. Pascal Hutton and Kevin Smith's beloved duo bring much-needed balance to the show. Their comedic timing, heartfelt exchanges, and loyalty to Hope Valley remain core reasons fans adore them. Season 13 is expected to dive deeper into Rosemary's expanding role as the town's voice through journalism, Lee's professional crossroads, especially if new industries or town conflicts emerge, the challenges of raising their daughter, humorous but meaningful town-wide entanglements. As always, Rosemary and Lee will anchor the season in laughter, warmth, and reminders that family, however chaotic, is worth fighting for. New faces and new conflicts ahead. Though Hallmark has not officially released a full list of guest stars, leaks and on-set whispers suggest that Season 13 will introduce at least 2 new recurring characters. A progressive young doctor connected to the insulin storyline, possibly creating friction with older medical or community members, offering new romantic or personal arcs for existing characters. A charismatic outsider tied to land or business disputes, bringing new tension to Hope Valley, potentially clashing with Bill, Lee, or Lucas, hinting at a mid-season storyline shift. These new characters could shake up the social and economic dynamics of the town, offering fresh energy and conflict. Hope Valley's heart, a community that grows together. What makes Season 13 particularly promising is how it blends nostalgia with evolution. Fans will see familiar storylines revisited with new depth, beloved relationships strengthened under pressure, emotional reunions that reward longtime viewers, new conflicts that ensure the show continues to evolve. Hope Valley has always been a place where hardships become opportunities for growth, where newcomers become family, and where love, in all its forms, remains central. Season 13 appears ready to honor that legacy while pushing its characters into some of their most meaningful arcs yet.